left your fanny pack with your key in it.
Oh, I left my key in the car.
That's
Damn, someone could have just stole a very expensive car.
Babe, no one would steal your car in front of IHOP. Are you kidding me?
All right, guys, welcome back to what it feels like settling in back home, so jet lagged. And we're gonna do a true day in the life of a land investor. The last few videos have been more circulated around running a business while traveling, but now we're gonna show you what's it actually like day to day, running two different businesses, and in particular a land investing business. Try to get that sun in my eyes to reset my circadian rhythms, because right now it feels about 10 p.m. for me is what it feels like. But it's a gorgeous day here. We're gonna go and get some coffee this morning. We got no supplies in the house and just love getting coffee out. So we'll see you in a little bit, and then we're getting to work. Let's see if I remember how to still drive. That's the real question. Whoo, it's cold in here.
Good thing you have a Tesla. You don't need to drive.
Now, people always talk crap on Vegas for a multitude of reasons, but it is beautiful, I gotta say. Especially in the morning when that light catches those hills. Pretty. What do you think?
I think it's cold.
Okay, Sarah and I are getting lattes and making friends.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Friends.
No matter how cold it is, it's like 38 degrees. Sarah will still always get a nice latte.
I am dedicated to my
Hot latte. Iced latte, I will say iced coffee is superior, but
It's a good choice.
It's that cold.
It's a good latte.
It was funny, we were in there as they sell farm fresh eggs. I'm like, hey, we should buy our eggs here. And this lady's like, hey, you should buy your eggs from
Featherblade. Butcher.
Which is like a nose-to-tail butcher. I'm super into nose-to-tail eating, nose-to-tail anything. When I lived in San Diego,
only animal butchery serving Las Vegas.
Yeah, when I was in San Diego, I used to buy liver once a week from the farmer's market, freeze it, put some honey on it, have a little cube every day as like my little multivitamin. And yeah, super cool lady. She said, come to our F45, Mark Wahlberg comes in and makes a guest appearance. I guess he lives right
So
over
we're
here.
going to go to the event on Saturday.
yeah. All right, back to home. All right, we're back in the office. It feels so good. Here's the very first thing that I'm doing. So first and foremost, phone. This thing is gonna go on do not disturb mode. We'll leave it on there for the next couple hours. Now, today's Tuesday. Normally I would do this on Sunday, and Sunday I was, 37,000 feet in the air, frazzled, probably sleeping on a plane. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna build out kind of our weekly battle plan. I do this every single Sunday. In this case, it's on a Tuesday. And we're gonna go and break down what are the actual key levers that I should be pulling on to make progress in my life this week and in my business this week. And that way I have some sense of where to direct my energy. For me, it's not so much about, okay, I logged 60 hours, 80 hours working this week. It's more about what did I get done, right? So more looking at what did I achieve, more in the line of efficiency opposed to how much time did I put forth. Then we're going to start working away. We've got a few meetings today, nothing too crazy. We've got a meeting with Jesse Kwong over at Pebble, the CRM for land investors. And we've got a few other meetings this morning with folks that are looking to join the LEA program, which I'll probably pop on and say hi for a little bit. But I'm going to dive in and get started. And before I do that, speaking of looking at this calendar, looking at the calls that we have today, with folks looking to join the group coaching program, if you are ready to scale not only your land investing skill set and become a better land investor, but more importantly, build a land investing business, right? That's the gap that we see in the market right now. There's education around how to find a market, how to buy a land, like all the generic stuff, but there's nothing really based in how do you take that skill set and build it into a repeatable, consistent, systematized business that not only puts more cash in your pocket, but ultimately gives you freedom, time freedom, location freedom. I've just been traveling the world for a little over 2 weeks while my business was running in the background and deals were getting closed, sales were coming in. If that's of interest to you, click the link in the description down below. You can hop on a call with myself and the LEA team to see if you're a good fit for the group coaching program. All right, I'm going to show you guys one of the most important things that I do every single week inside our land investing business. Let's take a look. So what you guys are seeing here is our CRM for the land business. As you guys know, we are all about Follow Up Boss. One of the things that I love inside Follow Up Boss is being able to tag other team members. So every single week, at least once per week, I go through and look at the seller leads for both of our acquisition managers. So sorry, Jordan, we're going to put you on blast here for a minute. What I do is I go through and I look at their hot deals. I look at deals that require a counter offer. I look at deals that might have just been updated to the no deals section for whatever reason, whether it's an issue with the seller or an issue with the property. And I go through and review them. And then I always go through and where applicable, I provide feedback in this create a note section by tagging whoever the team member is in that. And this is super, super powerful because even though as you're building a land business, you're going to start to sub out and delegate core components of the business, like in this case, acquisitions, you're still going to have to manage and to lead. I think so many folks think that, all right, once I get a butt and a seat, the game is over. It's certainly not the case, right? And the amount of money that we're able to eke out just by going over and having additional oversight and review with our team members, really for every vertical in our business is super important. So our COO, Newman, does this once a week. I also do this once a week just to kind of fill in the gaps. And I always find issues, right? And this is not a bad thing. This is just the nature of having a business that has a lot of moving parts. Some of those issues are in terms of underwriting deals and not understanding the value of certain deals. And so maybe we're like, hey, actually what the seller is asking for is a really good offer, right? Like we had a deal this morning where the seller was asking for $225,000 and the deal is worth about $350 to $400. So it's like, whoa, we are almost there for being in the same realm of being reasonable for price, and we haven't followed up with them in 30 days. Why the heck is that? Or in some cases, it's more structural, right? So one of the things that we're giving feedback on here that I'm a stickler about is setting follow-up tasks. So you can see the last follow-up task was March 27th. We had to follow up March 22nd. So we didn't even follow the March 27th task. We also didn't set a new task, right? And as a pipeline grows for anyone on your team, or if you're running acquisitions, you have got to be a stickler with task setting. Otherwise, stuff will slip through the cracks. And so when I see tasks that have been unchecked and there's no new task set, and when I see that the follow-up didn't actually hit the date of the task, that is an issue for me. So this whole exercise takes me about an hour every single week, and our business is all the better because of it. All right, guys, it's about 11:30. I've been working for about 3 hours or so. Got a call coming up here at 12, then I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I'm gonna try to do like a 12 to 15 mile run today because we are 16 days out from the marathon, something like that. But I wanted to share something with you. I'm just working on this email. Take a look at this. So this is an email I'm working on. This is a screenshot from inside our Discord. This is a really, really cool case study. So let's talk about it. And first and foremost, I'm so bad when it comes to sharing case studies, highlighting people. I'm good at having conversations with folks and bringing them onto the YouTube channel, but honestly, something I'm trying to do more is just, give folks praise. And so this is super cool. Andy joined us in January. He'd been in the land investing business for a little bit. We actually talked about him in the last video. He was the guy that sent out 40,000 neutral letters, no deals up until that point. Had a call at the beginning of January. He's like, hey, let me think about joining the lead group coaching program. I said, great. End of January, he's like, all right, I am diving headfirst in. And it's been chipping away for the last 8 weeks. The truth is about the land business is there is such a delay with the results that we get for the work that we put forth. I always tell people the seeds that I plant today, the work that I do today in my business, I harvest that in 6 months, right? And so he just shared this on the 2nd of April, so 2 days ago. So far inside the program, 8 weeks, he has sent out 7,000 blind offers following our micro mailer approach, using our market selection approach, using our pricing approach. This week alone, he got 3 new lots under contract. One is a buy for $35,000, sell for $65,000. Second one is a buy for $65,000, sell for $110,000 to $120,000. The third lot is a buy for $90,000, sell for $170,000. And then just the week before, he had a deal that he bought for $23,500, sold for $61,000. This is freaking epic, right? And this is a really cool case study in the sense that this really, really clearly defines a few things. One, this talks and not talks, I guess it really highlights our ROAS philosophy here, right? He spent $4,500 on marketing and data. So data from DataTree. That will net him about $50,000 to $70,000 in net profit after using other people's money to fund the deals, right? OPM on those deals, he'll make about 50 to 70 grand on it. At 50 grand, that's 11x ROAS. Like that's the worst case scenario. That's pretty incredible. I think some of those will probably inch up a little bit closer to 60, 70K, all said and done. Freaking phenomenal. The second point though, and this is really what I was writing in this email. If you're on our email list, you'll see this. The philosophy of whether it's us or someone else, right? The philosophy of when you are starting something new, find someone that knows what they're doing or has the thing that you want and emulate, create a carbon copy of what they're doing into your business, right? This is what I've done in the past, and every endeavor that I've taken on, this is exactly what we preach inside the program. There is a time and a place to add your own spin on it once you're successful. But up until that point, you need to get results or wins as quickly as possible, and taking the proven path is the way to do that, right? The playbook that we preach inside the Leah program has generated millions upon millions of dollars in land deals for myself and members inside the program. So why would you try to differentiate, right? This is a commodity-based business. You are buying an asset at a discount and selling it at a discount. There is no time to reinvent the wheel until you are working off of a solid foundation. But the folks that I see that spin their wheels in zigzag are the ones that come in and try to second guess, or they're doubtful if it even works, or they think they know better. Right? Until you have the results that you want in this business, you don't know better. The best thing that you can do is emulate. And this goes counter to what most people think about business, right? Most people think about business as having a novel new idea. Like that's how we win. No, that's not how we win, right? We take a playbook, we integrate it into our business, and then over time, we'll naturally iterate and we'll make it our own. Really at the core of it, business is about differentiation. It's not about new ideas. But to start, it's about taking a concept that already works and iterating on top of it. Every single business that I have that has ever worked follows that principle. All the members inside the program that have the crazy results follow that model, right? So, yeah. My hair looks horrible. All right, back to work. Don't be shy.
Oh, man.
All right, man, say who you are. What are we talking about today?
How's it going, everybody? It's Jesse here from Pebble. I'm here chatting with Sumner because we're linking up to do some pretty cool stuff here. And man, I love connecting with Sumner. I've spoken about the vibes that you give off. I'm super excited what we're going to chat about. Yeah, but we got some fun stuff in the plan here.
We'll keep it top secret for now. Maybe more on it later. All right. That was an awesome call. Jesse's such a cool dude, honestly. One of the few people who I really think is building something amazing inside the land space. If you guys haven't looked into Pebble, it's an awesome platform. Jesse's been in the game for a long time. What's funny is when I first got into land investing, I set up a website with him. I think it was like REI Optimized or something like that. And I used that website for years. And we made hundreds of thousands of dollars from this template that Jesse put together. So that was like one of the first people I ever interfaced with inside the land investing world. At the time, he had no idea who I was. Super cool that our paths have crossed, and just such a great guy. Gonna bang out some responding inside our Discord. We got so much going on with all the members, so gonna bang out some responses, get some food to me. It's 12:38 right now, and get ready to crush a big run. We're gonna go out to Henderson, Nevada, and run kind of by this lake. There's like this 14-mile loop trail that I'm gonna try. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hit 14 miles today. We're gonna shoot for it, but I'm feeling pretty beat up, super jet lagged. Currently, it's like 3:30 a.m. in the Philippines. I feel a little weird, but mindset over everything. We're gonna power over it. Just kidding. One of my favorite jokes to make, though, is making fun of like motivational people on Instagram and stuff like that. They're always like, go harder, don't be lazy, go one more. Ed Milet, who I like, seems like a cool dude. He made a book called Go One More, and it's like a couple hundred pages that they spent millions of dollars to market, and the premise of the book is go one more. It's so cheesy. But sometimes you do need to just friggin' turn on the hardcore savage mode that we all have inside of us. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. We all have that inner savage. So sometimes you gotta turn it on, but I feel goofy saying anything that's even remotely motivational. All right, here's my pre-running meal. We've got a cup of oatmeal, chia seeds, we've got dates, which I'm an addict for dates, peanut butter, protein powder, coconut, raspberries. I would never normally eat and be by my computer, but I've got to go watch some modules for a coaching program that I'm in. Yes, I still do coaching programs too. I'm way behind on them, so we're gonna get to this. All right, let's get this freaking bread, baby. It is go time. All right, It is time to run. Probably my favorite time in the whole day. And I can already hear y'all in the comments saying, ew, running, you like to run, I hate running. Look, that was my reaction when I first started running. I first started running about a year and a half ago, and it started because I was eating hamburgers with one of my best friends, Zach Colburn. He runs a business called PTBI. We've been friends since 7th grade, believe it or not. And we were eating burgers in San Diego. We had a trip planned to go to New York City to visit some friends, and I was trying to up the ante. I was like, you know what, we should do something crazy while we're there. We should run the full perimeter of New York City while we're there. Neither of us are runners. And he's like, no, you know what, we should run a full marathon while we're there. And we were about 3 weeks out from that trip. And so we shook hands on it. We started training for the marathon. What was really interesting is during the training, he came to the conclusion that he absolutely hated running. And somewhere along the way, I came to the conclusion that I absolutely love running. And the reason that I love running, for me, it's meditation through movement. It makes me present. I get to, turn off my mind, which, not to make myself sound like I've got special circumstances. Look, we all got hard shit going on in our lives, but running two businesses is demanding, and I really care about what I do. And for better or worse, sometimes I can draw all my self-worth and outlook on the world being good or bad from the results in my businesses, and that's something that I'm certainly looking to improve on and work on. But for me, this is just such a nice way to unplug. And what I will say for you guys that think that you hate running, one of the things that I changed that made a big difference, actually two things that I changed that made a big difference. One was tempo or pace. So when I used to run back in the day, like most people, I just thought you just go hard, right? Like just run hard. The problem is you burn out too quickly. Really what you want to be doing for new runners, and really for most runners, especially if you're going for distance, is what's called zone 2 running. So being in a pace where you can hold a conversation, your heart rate should be 130, 140, maybe 150. So pretty modest heart rate. You shouldn't be gunning and going super duper hard if you want to be able to go the distance. The truth is, most humans in their current state could run a whole heck of a lot farther than they think. In fact, I think most humans, if they're forced to do it, they could probably run a marathon. Most people don't know this, but humans are the most endurance species on this entire planet. In theory, we can run farther than any other species. Now, there's plenty of animals that are much faster than us, but we can go the distance. And that's partially how we're designed. It's part of our kind of evolutionary advantage. But I also think, once you start running, you get this incredible internal cocktail that gets mixed up of really just kind of feel-good sensations. And I think that's an evolutionary survival mechanism, and it makes you feel goddamn good. And you can tap into that whatever you want. So the pacing, super duper important. And then the next thing is having running shoes, right? I ran in gym shoes for a long time and really was hurting my body, hurting my knees. I had bad form also. I still kind of have bad form. Not as good as I would like it to be. But really getting good running shoes that kind of have a pitched up heel to have some rock to them was really, really helpful. And now there's a whole camp of people that say you should never run with elevated shoes. But for most of us that are conditioned to have an elevated heel, you're totally fine to do so. But in theory, running flat foot is the best thing that you can do. So I'm super pumped for this run. I'm going out to Henderson, totally new place. I'm going out to this wetlands area. It's going to be awesome. We'll take you guys along for the ride. Okay, just pulled up to the running spot. This is actually pretty funny. My girlfriend Sarah got me this for Valentine's Day. It's like this little sticker that smells really good of her. But I was driving and I just ordered this book. It's called Corporate Turnaround Artistry by Jeff Sands. And one of my habits is anytime I hear a book that piques my interest, I have no budget for books. I will always buy the book, and I always try to buy the book on the spot. So I was listening to a podcast and this came up and I'm like, all right, sounds super interesting. How to turn around any business in 100 days or less. Obviously, I'm not doing any corporate turnarounds. I've never done a corporate turnaround, but I'm really into like lateral information, if that makes sense. So while I don't do any corporate turnarounds, or not currently, there's information I can take from there and apply to my businesses. That's actually my favorite way to get knowledge. I don't really love getting knowledge specific to my industry. I think you need some to be lethal to get started. But eventually, it's not about knowing what everyone else knows. It's about pulling from information from other verticals, industries, niches, hobbies, whatever it may be, that lateral information and making it relevant to what you do, right? And this is applicable to any business. I think at the end of the day, a good business is not about a new idea. You guys have already heard me say this. It's about differentiation. And a great way to differentiate yourself in the marketplace is by pulling this lateral information. And so I read books on the weirdest of topics, and anytime I hear a book that sounds interesting, I just order on Amazon. So I'll let you guys know how this one goes. But I'm going to go hit this run. I'm going to leave the camera in the car. I don't really feel like running with it. Every pound counts. But hopefully I'll get this done in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Wish me luck. Why do we have folks inside the Leah Group Coaching Program making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month in their land investing business after being inside our program for only a year? It's because what we're doing is unlike anything else in the land investing market. If you are interested in scaling a 6 or even 7-figure land investing business, click the link to schedule a call down below to speak with myself and the team. Talk soon. Boom! 10.2 miles done. I didn't want to do it, but I did it, and I'm so grateful that I did. It's unbelievable what you can do when you're clear and you're committed to what you want in this world. I think personally there is no force more powerful in this entire universe than a mind that is clear and committed. I think humans are so much more powerful than we ever give ourselves credit. That's all I was thinking about on this run is I'm clear, I'm committed. I'm clear, I'm committed. There is no obstacle. And the reason that I love physical activity of any kind is that for me, it's a demonstration of our mindset. It is acting out our mindset in the 3D world, right? And then what we do there carries over to what we do everywhere else. There is no separation between who we are on the run, who we are with our family, who we are with our loved ones. There is no separation to how we show up in our business. How you do one thing, it's how you do everything. And I really can't take myself seriously with how bad my hair looks. It is hilarious. But that's the thing. I don't really care. Anyways, that was amazing. I found an amazing new running spot. I've been looking all over for somewhere good to run in Vegas. I haven't found anything. Like, I've tried running in my neighborhood. I hate it. It's a lot of stop and go. It's like this windy road. There's traffic. It's ugly. It's not ugly. It's just not like, I like running in nature. I don't want to see cars. I don't want to see other people. And I found this beautiful running trail that kind of goes along this river. Believe it or not, there is a river. There's multiple rivers in Vegas. One of the reasons that Vegas got populated to begin with, because people were always like, whoever wanted to move to the desert? Well, during the gold rush, from what I understand, during the gold rush, there was people that were crossing west, obviously, and this was a stopover spot because in this valley where Las Vegas is today, there's actually a lot of water. There's a lot of springs here. At one point, this was all a big lake, right? And so this is essentially like a dried out lake bed that has remnants of that water. Now, it's not enough water, again, to what I understand, to support the population of Vegas. Obviously, they get water from surrounding lakes and have drained Lake Mead essentially, but it's super interesting. So there's actually this beautiful river that's really flowing right now as the snow melts. There's geese out there, there's ducks. It looks like a duck hunting spot, I'm not quite sure, but there's a ton of really nice dirt trails. I love running on dirt or like sand that's not too rocky. The problem with the kind of running I like to do, which is like distance, and I'm not like the strongest runner ever, right? Like I'll run 10 miles at like a 9-minute or 9-minute 30 pace, which is okay for my size, but it's not phenomenal. So stuff that's like too rocky and too elevated, it kills my flow. I got to be careful with my ankle, especially because I've got a really bad ankle injury right now. So anyways, I'm so psyched that I found that spot. I'm actually going to go meet up with Sarah at the gym right now because I'm clear and I'm committed. I love moving my body. I love it. It's my drug of choice. They say addicts are the most committed, right? And I do believe that. I think I have an extremely addictive personality. Have just been very fortunate to channel it to the right areas. And I think that if I didn't have these outlets, like entrepreneurship, like my physical endeavors and 1,000,001 hobbies, outside of work, I've got too many hobbies. I love learning about things, and when I get into something, I get obsessed with it. It's all I can think about. And I don't think if I didn't have those outlets, I would probably be a detriment to myself and to those around me. So yeah, I'm gonna go and work out. What's funny though is the whole entire time on this run, I'm like, dang, I want Chick-fil-A. I never crave that kind of stuff. I never eat Chick-fil-A. I've had Chick-fil-A in years. I don't really like fast food, but I'm so underfed, I guess you could say, from like the last 48 hours of travel. I just didn't really have access to food on the flight and just haven't really been eating. And I burned probably, I don't know, 4,000, 4,500 calories a day. And so it's caught up with me. I'm like, I'm ravenous. I need something that's just loaded in calories before this next workout. So I'm going to go get a diet lemonade. a sandwich, and some french fries. And then we're gonna go crush a workout.
Your fanny pack with your key.
Oh, I left my key in the car.
That's
damn. Someone could have just stole a very expensive car.
Babe, no one would steal your car in front of IHOP. Are you kidding me?
Sarcastic.
Yes, that was sarcasm.
All right, we just finished our workout, and we've been looking for a Whole Foods for a while since we moved to Vegas, and we finally found one. And what did we get? For whatever reason, I actually get a lot of questions of people asking me what I eat, which is, I'm not quite sure why.
All right, we got some bacon, some Applewood smoked bacon. We both love bacon. Guilty pleasure. But not guilty.
No, you can eat bacon. I don't know why everyone thinks it's so bad. Make sure you get high quality bacon, humanely raised. Make sure you get it with no nitrates, no added hormones. It's really not that bad. We also got some cotija, which everyone pronounces cojita. It's actually cotija. we got some A2 milk as well.
Ground beef.
Ground bison.
Ground bison, sorry. We got some ground bison, and then we're gonna go to the butcher, a local butcher later this week, and pick up some more protein. And then the Primal Kitchen, cilantro, lime.
The reason we buy this is because a lot of salad dressings, if you look on the ingredients list, have seed oils in them, which are inflammatory and cause all sorts of problems in the body. Eating seed oils is like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day if you have them in high quantities. So try to buy stuff that doesn't have seed oils.
We got some fuzzy mushrooms per Sumner's request.
Lion's mane.
We got some Atlantic salmon, smoked salmon. Tonight we're gonna do just some bagels, smoked salmon, some cream cheese. So pretty simple. We'll probably do a side salad with that for getting some greens in.
Nice, babe.
I'll put tomato on mine too.
All right.
No?
No. Man, the jet lag is so real. It just hit me like a ton of bricks in the last few hours. Same with Sarah. So we're about to wrap this up here. But before I do, I want to share a couple of things with you. A revelation, if you will. And that revelation is that today I woke up way later than I wanted to, right? Most days I like to wake up at 5 to 6 a.m. somewhere in that window. And I like to really get to work as soon as possible. I went through this weird phase where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna split test not working for the first 3 or 4 hours and screw around and then work. I tried it for a few months. I didn't like it. I've always been wake up, get some sun on me, walk outside, drink a cup of coffee, get to work. Kind of like my prime time for thinking. So this morning we started later. We had to go and get coffee, yada, yada, yada. I didn't get started working until about 8. So from 8 to about 1 o'clock, I was just locked in, had some food, and then worked a little bit longer till 2 o'clock, then headed out and went for a 10-mile run, came back here, went to the gym. And if you look at that day, right, you're probably like, dang, that doesn't really seem like that much time behind the desk or quote unquote working. And this is what's really fascinating. When I first got into building my business, and in particular my land business, I had this insane fear around not working, and I also thought that everything in my business was a one-to-one relationship to how much time I spent behind my desk. I would literally chain myself to my desk because I thought, well, that's how I'm going to get further along. And there's truth to that, right? I think in any business, including the land business, you need to get escape velocity, right? Those first few years even, or first few months for you guys that are really scaling quickly initially, it is very much a one-to-one relationship. The input that you put forth is what you're going to get back from an output in your business. But as you start growing, it's not about that anymore. It's about being effective, right? And that's really been a revelation as our team size has grown to, I don't even know, 14 people or so behind both businesses. It's less about doing the day-to-day and being in the trenches. It's more about monitoring, managing, and looking forward to what's to come. But ultimately, whether you're in the trenches yourself or you are at more of a scaled up position, I still think effectiveness beats out how many hours you're logging every single day. I think that hard work is grossly overrated and being effective is grossly underrated. And I had this horrible entrenched belief back in the day that hard work was everything. Now, don't get me wrong. There are periods where you need to sprint. There are periods where I will work for 12 hours a day, but that is not sustainable in the long run. In most cases, the way to be effective is to undulate, just like anything in your life, right? If I go to the gym and I really am grinding it out, I've got to rest. It's the same thing in your business. You're going to go through periods, seasons, quarters, weeks, months, whatever it may be, where you're going to be going pedal to the metal, and you're going to pull back. And so, well, that's one of the things that I've learned, right? And right now I'm in a season where we're really more about managing and we're more about kind of perfecting what we have going on currently. We're not adding a lot of new things to either businesses because we've gone through a big growth period in both of them, right? So it's like we're getting our bearings, we're getting settled in, we've added new team members, I'm managing them, getting them scaled up, onboarded, and before we stack on any new offerings in the LEA program or the LEA community, before we start adding on any additional complexity to the land business, that's the season we're in. So if you wanted to know, Sumner, what the heck did you even work on today? Well, it really came down to reviewing both of my acquisition managers' recent hot seller leads, the leads that were needing counter offers and the leads that were under contract. We came in yesterday and had 3 new deals under contract from the weekend, which was awesome. We had one deal it's a bundle of 2 properties in West Virginia, small infill lots. I think we're going to pass on that. We had another deal that was a 24 acre in Washington. That's a buy for 34, sell for like 75 to 80, which is a pretty darn good deal. And then we had another really interesting deal also in Washington, different county in Washington, and that's a 5 acre that sits really close to a river. It's in a really nice subdivision. We have it under contract for $21.5, and lots out there are trading between like 55 to 65 for similar sized properties. It's beautiful, nice topography, wooded. The weird thing is it's within 1,000 feet of an old landfill. Now, it's no longer a landfill. There's no junk on it. It doesn't look just nasty or anything like that. It's just way back in the day, there was some landfill stuff on it, right? And it's not an eyesore, but the issue is you can't drill a well on it, allegedly. But here's what's interesting. Even if you can't drill a well on it, I still think there's a recreational use case that probably makes the property worth 40 to 45. But I don't think that's the angle, because if you look at the adjacent property is the same exact size, is in the same distance from the landfill or what was once a landfill, and that property is developed. That property has a nice house on it. So had my acquisition manager call the county. Turns out the county says, hey, you can actually get an exemption from fill in the blank, local or state resource. I can't even remember the name that we have to call of the kind of state group that will give us an exemption that say, oh yeah, it's actually no longer a landfill. You're good to go. So that deal I think will probably be worth 45 to 55. Will probably still be a little bit less than some of the other properties out there. It's a really good deal. And then we got another deal in Washington as well. It's not under contract yet. We just resent a new contract for it. It's a 1.8 acre lot, kind of more in the rural infill style. It's in a really nice subdivision. It's got really weird topography that I don't really like, but the adjacent property has the same topography, and it just sold for, I think, 120 or 130, can't remember. And that one we're going under contract under at 50. So anyways, despite all that to be said, managing, reviewing the new seller leads, going through the new signed contracts that we have, I'm constantly providing feedback to my team, mainly my acquisition team, about their performance. The thing is sales and acquisitions is a high contact sport. And just like any other athlete, they're going to have seasons where they're really on, they're going to have seasons where they're really off. And there's a lot of variables to be managed there. That's probably the area that I manage the most heavily in our business, because there's always room for improvement and there's always going to be slip ups. There's always going to be things that need to be addressed and rectified. That's why we have a sales team meeting every single day. Luckily, I don't lead that meeting anymore, but our COO runs that meeting. That's how important managing your sales team is, and mainly the acquisition team in the land business. Then the next thing is I had a really cool meeting with Jesse from Pebble, and we're working on something really cool for Leah members in terms of taking all of our systems in our business and creating a system where we can carbon copy it into any Leah member's business. Super exciting. And then I went through, batched all of our emails for the folks that are on our Leah Insiders list, which is kind of our free land investing, not newsletter, it's really an education piece. And so we went through, batched a bunch of those emails, went through and responded to a boatload of messages inside Discord, just because I was a little bit behind there over the last few days. And then started putting together the final pieces for a call that we have with Clint Turner tomorrow inside the Leah program. He's coming to speak to us about hiring, placing acquisition managers. He's got kind of a really cool just experience and sample size. He's released a VA placement program for acquisition managers and has placed, I think, well over 50 acquisition managers in the last few months. So he's seen and been around a ton of different acquisition managers, gone through a lot of different hiring cycles, and he's been providing some really cool feedback to the group. So anyways, that's the video, y'all. If you guys made it this far, I love you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe, thumbs up, all that jazz. Much love. Peace.